name's Heido, and welcome to the Pantheon, the show where I've combed through some cards, quite a lot of them to be fair, and picked out the 5 best for a commander. Today we're having a look at one of the brand new Strixhaven legendaries, in Killian, Ink Duelist, who weighs in at 2 mana, which is fantastic for a Voltron deck. You know, you can hit it early, and if he dies, okay, not that bad, 4 mana to recast him. But let's have a look at his text box. He has lifelink, okay. Menace, nice bit of evasion. And then spells you cast that target a creature cost 2 less to cast. Now that is the main reason we want to be playing him. That reduction is just fantastic, and it can allow us to play a couple more expensive spells for nice and cheap. You know, play more in a turn, which is always good. And finally, he's a 2/2. I can barely believe it. Yeah. Anyway, really cool card. Without further ado, let's have a look at his top 5 cards. In at number 5, we've got Hatred. And I love this card. 5 mana for an instant. There's an additional cost to cast this spell. Pay X life. Target creature gets plus X plus O until end of turn. So, potentially with Killian, we've got a turn 3 kill here. Turn 2, play Killian. Turn 3, this is reduced by 2. Target our commander. Pay 19 life into it. 21 commander damage. And we gain 21 life back thanks to his lifelink. This card is just phenomenal and it's just so powerful. We're going to kill some people with this. To go along with it, we've got a couple of other interesting instants and instant adjacent cards. Mavinda, Student's Advocate, is a 3 mana 2/3 with flying. And you can pay 0. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that spell doesn't target a creature you control, it costs 8 more. Well, luckily most of ours are going to target a creature, so don't worry about that bit. If that spell will be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Activate only once each turn. This just gives all of our targeting instants flashback, and it's so cool. It's essentially drawing your extra card because it's just powerful. It's just very, very powerful. Eerie Interlude, 3 mana for an instant. Exile any number of target creature you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under your owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Nice bit of board wipe insurance. You know, if someone goes to wipe the board, we can just flicker everything. Then it comes back after the board wipe's resolved. This now costs us 1 mana, and it can save every creature we have on the battlefield. Really, really powerful. Silver Quill Command, 4 mana for a sorcery. Choose 2. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Okay, pretty good. Return target creature card with converted mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, if Killian goes to the graveyard for whatever reason, we can get him back. Or, target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Alright. And target opponent sacrifices their creature. All 4 of those effects are really powerful, and if our commander is on the field and we're buffing him, we get this for 2 mana. Very, very powerful, and it replaces itself with the draw effect, which is just fantastic. Moving on to a different card type. No, we're not. I lied completely. But we're moving on to more removal here. And Slaughter is a wonderful card. 4 mana for an instant. Buyback, which means when this resolves, pay this cost and put it back into your hand. Pay 4 life. Destroy target non-black creature. That creature cannot be regenerated this turn. So, with our commander on the field, this is now double black, pay 4 life. You can just wipe the board of every creature, just keep targeting away. And it's so powerful. And the paying the 4 life, that's not that big of an issue because our commander has lifelink. So, when we hit in for big amounts of damage, this is going to get us the life back. No, it's not. Killian is. But we're going to lose some life to this, so it's pretty good. And then it's got wonderful art of Miri fighting Krovax, I think it is. Very cool. A couple of other really cool spells that we can use with him. Nice board wipe sort of effects. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. 5 mana for a legendary sorcery, which means you can only cast it if you have a legendary creature or planeswalker on the field. Put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Exile it. So, with our commander, this costs 3 mana, so we're reanimating something and destroying the biggest threat on the field. Very, very cool. Fell the Mighty is a 5-mana sorcery. Destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. So, if we target our commander, 3 mana, destroy everything, power 3 or greater. Wipes the board, and then we can start slamming in with our commander. Finally, we got Wretched Confluence, a 5-mana instant. Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So you can mix and match this however you want. It can be a 3 mana, give something -2/-2, draw 2 cards, or return 2 creatures. It's really, really powerful. And if you do just want to pay 5 mana to draw 3 cards, not the end of the world, really. Moves on, and I think this is a new permanent type. It is! It's an enchantment aura. So auras, when they're on the stack, they do target, which makes this cost double black for Inner Demon. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other types. So a nice bit of extra evasion and a pump to Killian. Then, when Inner Demon enters the battlefield, all non-demon creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Nice little board wipe bundled in with all of this. So we could wipe the board of all tokens, and we've got a massive demon flying in for a bit of lifelink damage. Very, very cool. Now, enchantment creatures with the bestow mechanic, when you cast it for its bestow cost, you're casting it as an aura that targets. So that reduces the cost because of Killian's ability. Eidolon of Countless Battles is a 3-mana enchantment creature spirit, and it's a 0/0. Bestow for 4 mana, so with Killian on the field, costs 2. Eidolon of Countless Battles, an enchanted creature, each get +1/+1 for each creature you control and each aura you control. So if you're loading Killian up with auras, this is going to get massive, and it only costs you 2 mana to play it. And if Killian dies, it's a threat by itself, because after the bestow ends, it becomes a creature itself, so it'll still be a large little dude. Night Howler, very similar, 3 mana for a 0/0 with bestow of 4, so 2 with Killian. Night Howler, an enchanted creature, get +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures in all graveyards. This is going to pump his power incredibly in any game that's gone long. Even a couple of creatures, and we're already getting +4/+4. Pretty powerful. And then it's a threat again by itself. All That Glitters, 2 mana for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and each enchantment you control. So that's not just auras like Eidolon of Countless Battles is cares about. This counts all of our ramp rocks and any other enchantment that we might have on the field. Really, really cool, and people are going to die to that. Then, Celestial Mantle, 6 mana for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3. Not the best. But whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, double its control's life total. And we're going to be gaining life before that happens. Really, really awesome. Really good. We can just sort of skyrocket our life total up into the upper echelons. Plus, if we have a double strike on our commander, that is a ridiculous amount of life. Timely Ward is a 3 mana aura. You can cast this spell as though it had flash if it targets a commander, which majority of the time it will. Enchanted creature has indestructible. So for 1 white, at instant speed, we can give our commander, it's not a planeswalker sadly, indestructible, which is really, really awesome. Finally, Flicker Form is a 2 mana aura with enchant creature. Can pay 4 mana, exile enchanted creature and all auras attached to it. At the beginning of the next end step, return that card to the battlefield under your owner's control. If you do, return the other card's exiled way to the battlefield under the owner's control attached to that creature. Excellent for 4 mana. We can protect our commander, and it's just so cool. The aura synergies are really, really awesome. Which brings us on to number 2. Core Spirit Dancer, yet more aura synergies. 2 mana. Core Spirit Dancer gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Whenever you cast an aura spell, you may draw a card. We will be drawing the card. We like cards. And it's a 0/2. So we can start targeting this with our auras, but even if we're not, we're going to be targeting commanders and draw cards. And drawing cards is the name of the game with these cards. SRAM Senior Edificer is a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. Pretty good. And we're going to be drawing tons of cards. Sage's Reverie, 4 mana for an enchant aura. Sage's Reverie, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. So it pumps up our commander loads and also draws us a ton of cards. And if we have, what's it called? Let's go back. Flicker form on the field. When this enters the battlefield, from flickering it out, we will draw a ton of cards every single time we do that. Really, really good. Unquestioned Authority, 3 mana, enchant creature. Enter the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has protection for creatures. So even though we do have Menace, we can just swing in with impunity. No one's going to be able to block because protection from creatures prevents that. Pretty good. Basic Enchantress, 3 mana for 0/2. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you may draw a card. Really, really good. And these final two are absolutely excellent with any of these cards that, whenever you cast an enchantment or aura, draw a card. Shackles, 3 mana, enchant creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its control's untap step. So we don't want to target our commander really, but we can target an opponent's creature and keep it locked down. But then you can pay 1 white to return it to its owner's hand. So thanks to our commander's ability, Shackles cost 1 and then it's 1 to return. So we can just keep flickering in and out to draw tons of cards. Conviction's exactly the same. 2 mana, enchant creature, enchanted creature gets +1/+3, so more of an aggressive aura to put on our commander. Pay 1, return conviction to its owner's hand. So same thing again, we can just draw tons of cards if we have a Mace or Enchantress or something like that on the field. Which brings us in to number 1. Evershrake. Really cool card that I've wanted to put in a deck for ages. 5 mana for an elemental spirit 2/2. Flying, Evershrike gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. So if we load this up, he's going to be massive, can swing in for a ton of damage. But the main reason I like him, a black, or a white, or a black and a white, an X. Return Evershriek from your graveyard to play. You may put an aura card with convert mana cost X or less from your hand into play attached to it. If you don't, remove it from the game. So this is an endless threat, or can be if you have auras in your hand. And the artwork is just phenomenal on this card. I just love it. The aesthetic of it is just fantastic. But that's the sort of name of the game, like playing with auras here. Boomweaver Giant, 7 mana for a 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your graveyard, hand, or library for an aura card, put it onto the battlefield attached to Boomweaver Giant. So this could get flicker form, and he can keep building himself up over and over again with his enter the battlefield. Or if you've lost a big enchantment, bring it back. Heavenly Blade Master is a 6 mana 3/6 with flying and double strike. When it enters the battlefield, you may attach any number of auras and equipments you control to it. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to Heavenly Blade Master. So this makes itself a massive threat, and it also keeps giving +1/+1 to everything else. So even though our commander might have shrunk slightly, this is an enormous flying threat, and our commander can still get in for a ton of damage. Finally, Retether is a 4 mana sorcery. Return each aura card from your graveyard to play. Only creatures can be enchanted this way. Aura cards, there are other types of auras. There are auras that enchant players or lands, but we're not really interested in that in this deck. Retether, just rebuy everything, get to swinging. Pretty damn good. And those are my top 5 cards for this Killian dude. He's really cool. Nice little aggro card. And considering he's an uncommon, he can be pretty powerful. If you've got any suggestions for cards to put into this, I'd love to hear them. Please subscribe. It would make me very happy. And thank you very much. Bye.